Yep.
Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Rodrigo Fonseca. I'm the General Chair for SoCC 2020 and trying some new Zoom overlay technology. So welcome. This is the 11th edition of SoCC, which started in 2011. It's an ACM conference sponsored by both SIGOPS and SIGMOD. So it was born to join the operating systems and the databases community around the theme of cloud, and it has been growing steadily since then. I'm really happy to welcome you guys to Renton, Seattle, and to this beautiful hotel. What? No, sorry. There was some change of plans. The conference was supposed to be here in Renton, and we had a small change of plans. And instead, the conference this year is going to be here. This is the locations where everyone who's registered for the conference is coming from, and the sizes of the circles indicate more people. And this year we had 2.5 times record-breaking number of registrations. Instead of the maximum ever, which was around 200, we have more than 500 registrations from 25 countries. And this is also the most diverse that the registrations have been. We grouped them by time zones. We asked you to say what time zone you're coming from so that we could plan. And 49% are coming from the Americas, 8% from the Europe and Africa time zones, and 43% from Asia and Oceania time zones. And what is striking is that last year we had about 66% of the people attending from North America. And so this shows that there was an incredible spread of the attendance, which is a really good thing for SOC going forward. So despite having to go virtual this year, we see this as a great opportunity. We were able to make the conference extremely more accessible by a couple orders of magnitude, from $750 approximately to $15, as you have seen. No hotels, no flights. And so this is great. As you see, the attendance is higher. And of course, going virtual, there are challenges, right? Like we don't know what the engagement will be, and what happens to the hallway track when you bump into your friends and you talk, random things unplanned. So we thought a lot about this, and we looked at a bunch of options, and we think that we can recover some of that, and we hope that will be very engaging. So we're going to use two platforms, basically. You're probably logged on to Whova already. Some of you are watching this from the embedded Whova Zoom client. So you can do that without having to leave the comfort of your browser tab. And Whova has a nice set of features, community features. You can talk, you can create interest groups, and people have started creating interest groups already to talk about different things. And you can look at the agenda, you can ask questions ahead of time, you can watch the videos, and you can later will you be able to watch the streams as well. So we think that overall, Whova will be a good platform to make people engaged and in line and think that they are attending the conference. And the other platform that we're going to use in order to try to regain that hallway track feeling and the ability to meet people is in partnership with a new company called Virtual Chair. We're going to use the gather.town toolset. The poster sessions are going to be there. We hope that the mentoring meetings will be there as well. So you will be able to bump into people. You will be able to have conversations with a group of people in ad hoc fashion. And we really encourage you to try that and see how it works. There's one poster session where every paper is going to have a poster, and the sponsors are always going to be there. But we also encourage that after each session, the speakers of that session go together and go to their poster, such that people can go and continue the conversations that they started. So the going offline, let's take this offline, actually could be, let's take this to the poster and continue the conversation on the break. So I really would like people to try to give this a chance. This is just a screenshot of the whole Gather map. There are two environments. When you get in there, you will go into this environment. It will be more zoomed in, so you won't see the whole map, and you actually can zoom out on your browser to see it. And you see that there's a help desk. There's a video that will introduce you to the platform. All these little tables with the number of chairs accommodate that number of people. So if you walk to the table and stay on top of the chair, you can talk to the people that are on that chair and nobody else can join. Or if you just get close to someone in a group of people, you can talk to them as well. If you walk to the middle where these things that look like stairs go to downstairs, that's where the poster room is. And that's what it looks like. There are 35 posters around the room. And then there are 6 stands for the sponsors where they can, which is like the booths where they would be, and you can talk to them. They have a massive presence of attendees from the sponsors, so take the opportunity to talk to them as well. The posters are located on these A1, A2, B3, C4. You can find the poster, the location of the poster you want in the description of the talk in Whova, or you can go to each one of these little signposts that are in the room, and there's a directory of posters. So you can find where your poster is. You can always chat with people on Gather. You can locate them if you want. You can we think it's going to be a great way to interact. So please try that. I don't want to take a lot of time anymore. I think we're getting ready to start, but I can't leave without thanking without a few thanks. So I would like to thank the amazing organizing committee that we had for SOC that they put up with me as we were trying to decide whether to do virtual or not. So if you see them around, please thank them as well for the amazing work they've done, as well as for the steering committee whose leadership has taken this conference where it is and will continue taking it further. I would really like to thank all the PC members. We had a really large PC and they did an amazing job. One thing that we didn't compromise at all going virtual is the quality of the papers. And I'm super happy with what we've come to select. I'd like to thank the sponsors, without which we wouldn't be able to do this conference at this price, at this quality. And finally, obviously, I would like to thank all the authors who submitted papers to SOC. That's obviously, there's no conference without the high quality papers that we get, and all the attendees as well. We have 101 attendees on Zoom right now, and I hope that this engagement will keep increasing and throughout the conference. You will notice that there's some odd times for everybody, no matter where you are. It's very hard to have times that work for everyone around the world. So forgive us if some session that you want to attend is going to be at 2 a.m. There will be plenty of opportunity to engage with the authors, even through the Q&A that's persistent, through watching the videos, and we'll post the videos of the sessions as well. So that's pretty much all that I had to say. Enjoyed the conference, and I'm ready to give the screen to Christina and Bengqing, our wonderful PC chairs, to talk about to welcome you as well.
Right, great. Thanks a lot, Rodrigo. So let me share my screen. Okay, hopefully you can see that.
Yes.
Yes, all right. Very good. So hello, everyone. Welcome to SoCC 2020 on behalf of Bengqing and myself. We are very happy to see a high attendance, and we hope it continues to go up throughout the day. So what I'll do is tell you a little bit about the logistics, the statistics for papers in this year's conference, and a little bit about the review process, and then we'll jump into the first keynote. Okay, so a little bit about statistics. We had 143 submissions this year. It is very similar to last year. There's a small decrease, which is to be expected, given that this year has been what it has been. We had a great program committee of very committed people that provided us with timely and high quality reviews. So hopefully, even for papers that did not end up getting accepted, they got some useful feedback on how to improve their work. So in total, we had 637 reviews submitted, and through this process, we selected 35 accepted papers, which was a 24% acceptance rate. So in terms of the topics of papers that we got, so the blue bars are the submitted papers and the green bars are the accepted papers. And we have some of the usual suspects, which are very similar to previous years of SoCC. So things like distributed systems, resource management, virtualization and containers, and storage. But we also have some new topics, especially things like machine learning for systems, had a huge jump this year in the number of submitted papers compared to previous years, as well as systems papers on large-scale cloud applications and services and systems for machine learning. So you will see throughout the program that there is a large number of papers on serverless compute, and that's where a lot of them come from, these topics. Okay, so in terms of the review process, so when we started assigning reviews, we sent some goals to our program committee, and these goals were to accept controversial and thought-provoking papers and focus more on novel ideas, even if the writing is not entirely polished. And one way that we try to help authors of accepted papers to polish their writing is by shepherding a small number of already good papers. So we also asked them to take an inclusive view of what is cloud instead of just the traditional topics that fall under cloud computing. And we didn't set out to accept a specific number of papers. Instead, we tried to accept as many good papers as possible in order to improve the program, the final program. So we ended up with a similar acceptance rate as last year, but that was more by coincidence rather than by design. Okay. So in terms of the review assignment, it was mostly a manual assignment. We did not use paper bidding, but we did ask every program committee member to very carefully specify their areas of expertise. And then we also went manually and adjusted those areas to make sure people would be assigned papers that they were comfortable reviewing. As a first step, we used HotCrab's optimizer to produce a rough assignment, and then we did a lot of manual adjustments to that assignment to handle low expertise in some areas, papers that maybe in uncommon areas like quantum computing, and also issues with the automated optimizer of the submission site. So what we ended up with was the distribution in reviewer expertise that you see in the bottom right. So most papers were reviewed by people that were experts in their areas. Of course, there are some papers that are in more uncommon areas where the expertise might be lower, but overall papers were reviewed by people that had a lot of expertise in their respective areas. Okay, so we followed a two-round review process, and the goal of the two-round review process was to provide early feedback to papers that had a low probability of being accepted so that they could use this feedback to prepare their next steps and improve their work. So we started with, so we started with 143 submissions. The first round of reviews, for the first round of reviews, each paper got 3 to 4 reviews. All reviews were from the PC, and the goal was, again, to filter out some papers that were not quite ready for prime time yet. And for those papers, we sent out early notifications so that they could plan their next steps. So we had 59 round 1 rejected papers, and then for the remaining 84 round 2 papers, each of them got an additional 2 to 3 reviews. So the second round also included an author rebuttal period, where the authors got a chance to reply to the comments in the various reviews, and we saw that the rebuttals in many occasions changed the mind of the reviewers, either positively or negatively. We also had an extensive online discussion period, and the result of that was 26 online accepts, and I cannot see the number, so I cannot tell you. Okay, 36 online rejects, and that narrowed down the number of papers that we had to discuss in the online program committee meeting. So we had to discuss 22 papers, and out of those we arrived at the final 35 accepted papers, and everything else was rejected. Okay, so I would be remiss, and we would be remiss if we didn't thank our fantastic program committee. These 64 people worked through difficult circumstances in this year, and they had to review a large number of papers. They provided us with high quality and timely reviews. And even more importantly than that, the reviews were very constructive. So even if a paper did not end up getting accepted, they still got some useful feedback on how to improve their work. So many thanks to them. We wouldn't have been able to have a program today without their help. We also want to help, of course, the steering committee, who guided us throughout this whole process and always provided useful feedback and useful suggestions, especially with the complications of organizing a virtual conference. And finally, the organizing committee, everybody did an excellent job in their respective roles, and especially want to thank Rodrigo for navigating all the complexities of organizing a virtual conference. Okay, so the program at a glance, we have put together what we hope you will find is a very interesting program. In addition to the 35 accepted papers, we have 3 keynotes, one each day starting at 9:45 a.m. Eastern. We have 2 panels on Monday and Wednesday. They start at 2:30 Eastern. The panel today is on serverless compute, and the panel on Wednesday is on data center architectures. And then finally, we have one dedicated long poster session that will be tomorrow afternoon. But like Rodrigo said, after most sessions, there are hallway tracks where you can interact with the presenter. So hopefully that will give you plenty of opportunities for socializing. All right. So the last thing before we jump into the first keynote is announcing the Best Paper Award. So here is the process for selecting the best paper. The program chair selected 5 highly ranked papers. This was with input from the program committee, and this was based on the scores of the papers and their potential for long-term impact. And then we also selected a subset of the PC that had no conflicts with any of the paper candidates, and this subset of the PC deliberated and selected the best paper winner. So, and the winner is Challenges and Solutions for Fast Remote Persistent Memory Access. Anuj Kalia, David Anderson, and Michael Kaminsky. Many congratulations. The citation reads, for investigating network-level challenges of designing high-performance distributed systems for non-volatile main memory. The paper evaluates networking options for NVMe and designs new optimizations for achieving low latency and high bandwidth access to remote NVMe. It conducts an extensive performance study of 2 high-performance NVMe network systems, and it presents insights which are important for the design of high-performance NVMe-based distributed systems. So many congratulations to all the authors. Hopefully they are on the call and they got the good news. And the paper will be presented in the second session later today. And we'll also send you your plaques after.